once a week and practice in the side room. And one time he was in the office and he said, well, I'll walk you home. And it was like 5 blocks. And so we did.
That was the beginning of the end.
Beginning of the end, yes. And anyway, in 50, when were we married? 56.
56.
56. June, right after he'd graduated from seminary. We were married, and about a month or 2 later, we went to Dominican Republic. Okay, we went to Northfield, Minnesota. The Adamses had been there at that church. They were missionary children, couple, and they went back to Nicaragua for a while, and then they came back, and we followed them. Wonderful, very mission-minded church.
Then when we left Northfield, we got a call to go Ephraim. And after Ephraim, we went to Lake Mills. Then we went to Lake Mills, and we were there, and Betsy was the other pastor. And after Lake Mills, what did we do?
Retired.
We retired from Lake Mills. Yeah, I retired from Lake Mills. But our kids, one lived in Annandale and one lived up in Brainerd. Brainerd? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so we finally decided to move to Waconia, which is between Brainerd and Annandale, and we built a house there.
So we knew Larry. We knew
at the Orange Street.
We knew.
No oranges at Orange Street. No oranges there, but there was Orange Street.
I like to look back on my life, how I was just a girl in Binghamton going to high school there. My father was a ticket agent, my mother was a teacher, and my life was, I just feel like I've been led, like that church camp. Right when I was walking out home from the business school, that happened. With my minister on the phone asking if and I went. Then I got the job with the Presbyterian Church for 5 years. Then I found the Moravian Church, which was a blessing, a real blessing. It was Reverend Hedgecock, and he was a great man. And then through that, I found him. and it's just how we've been taken care of all our lives, just together, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful journey. It's not over yet.
I learned there really what faithfulness is. I mean, I knew it already, and so but it was the members really showed it what faithfulness is. Or when we were going to build a church in Managua, Mission Board said, we're gonna, for every dollar that you make, we will give it another dollar or something like that. And got up and said, what we're gonna do is when we have the offering, we'll have the offering for what we need at the church, and we have another offering for the building. And that was people who had very small wages, and yet they said, we're going to build that church, and we're going to raise the money. I did not have to talk much about stewardship, because they already did it. The people there are very serious about their faith.
And in 72, was it? 72, at Christmas, there was the earthquake in Managua. The church was destroyed. It was only about, what, 5 years old? Every time you'd think everything was fine. You'd grab hold of a fence or so, and the wall, and all of a sudden, and we had neighbors who were Moravians, just 2 houses off us. The stones were falling off the front part of their house. Cares, and he was walking the streets to find members and find people who needed help. And so that was one time where our house, this is one of the God moments, our house was one of the ones on the street, one of very few on our street that didn't have to be rebuilt.
We were just 12 or 15 people, and it was all dark, no electricity. The only light was those little candles. It was the most meaningful Christmas service, and I think everybody felt that we were not alone, that Jesus is really there.
On top, and none of us were hurt. It was just every part of the journey. I've felt the Lord's hand and His presence. And it's just, and it continues. It continues.
During the earthquake, I started driving through the city. Then I went to another place. The family was outside in the yard, and the husband was in a wheelchair. He could not talk. He could not walk, and his wife had just happened to get him out of the house, but she forgot something that he needed. I think some medicine or something. Anyway, she said, I forgot that, and it's in there. I wished I had brought it out. I said, I will go in. And she said, and when I went in, I felt I did not go alone. I felt there was somebody with me. And I went to got the stuff and then brought it out and gave it to her. But that time I had a real feeling that Jesus was right on my side.
Your shoulder.
Because I didn't worry about it, and the house would shake every so often, you know. It was all right, you know. If it's gonna fall, God will take care of me. I really felt that I was not alone into the city.
We had friends in Dominican Republic. They were newly married, had one child. He was an Episcopalian pastor, and so they had rented this cottage for a week, and they asked if we wanted to come with them. And so we headed up with our 2 cars and all our kids and the crib and all that sort of thing. And they were talking about, oh gosh, we got to go back. Got to service tomorrow. We got to go back. But we packed up and we were driving back. We were coming into our town where we lived. And someone along the road saw Bill and said, how did you get here? And we said, well, what do you mean? We just drove. Well, don't you know? What? He said, there was an invasion from Cuba on that beach where we had gone with the kids. And all the people in the cottages or in that area were taken hostages. That was just, we knew nothing, but we must have left. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour later, or earlier or something, just in time to not be in on that.
There's so much.
I know.
I am grateful that God has always looked after me. During the war, after the war, coming to the States with $1 or $2 on my name, and and always God was there. And then with the congregations, God helped me to deal all those other things. So that's one thing that's grateful, how God looked after me. I'm also grateful for Faith. I always felt that she is God's gift to me. Faith has been the best pastor's wife any pastor could think. She was at least half of my ministry, and all the things she did in the congregation, with children and Sunday school and so on.